Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another fantastic episode of Hobby Nonsense. I'm co-host Ray, and I am joined by a very, very sickly sports boy.
I don't feel good, guys.
But he's in here. He's here for you guys, the people.
I spent the first part of this day doing another podcast where I sat out. I laid out. I laid on the sofas in the studio while the others took over. And today I said I can't do it for two pods. One is the only option, and I chose the SCN one. This is the one I'm going to do.
This is the one you chose.
So being said,
I want this to be your flu game. I want you to bring it.
This is the flu game episode.
I want you to let me be your Scottie Pippen. Let me hold you off, walk you off the court. But okay. I want 110%.
Okay, Scotty.
All right. Let me see what you got. Don't let the people down, Jesse.
Okay, Pip. Did he call? Right? Did Jordan ever call him Pip? Do you know? I don't remember him ever doing that.
I think you call him Scott Boy.
Scott Boy. Scott Boy, I really appreciate you being there for me. And I'm going to be there for all of you. I'm going to change my voice. Hey, everybody. Energy. Blah. All right. So here we go. We do have a terrific guest joining us. So that's going to take a little bit of the load off. I really do feel like I almost thought after booking him, I'm like, man, this may be a mistake. I should book him when I don't feel like dying. But that being said, he's going to provide some excellent information. Jeremy Allen, he is with, he's the assistant director or director of pop culture with Heritage Auctions. And to say that he's got some stories is an understatement. He has got a lot of, not only he's got his finger on the pulse of the non-sport card industry, but just collectibles in general. And I'm really excited to bring him on because he's not only going to be able to share maybe some auctions, some things that are going off now, but he's going to be able to help us in the future on other episodes, get Lego people on, get coin people on, video game. I've literally been messaging people for the last couple weeks, like not every day, but I've messaged several people, and I have had I've had two people get back to me, and both of them were like, yeah, let's do it. And then one was like, oh, I can't do it during the day because I have a full-time day job. And then another one's like,
hey, that happens. Some people are busy.
I know, but it's just like, I don't know. Lunch break, it's only 30 minutes, late lunch. We'll go ahead and record you. You've got wealth of information. We want you to share it with the people. But that being said, now we don't have to worry about it because he's gonna hook us up.
The middleman
of our educational journey into the world of non-card collectibles. All that being said, we're going to start with, let me hit this real quick because we're going to go to a lot of Ray's topics. Actually, let's hit your first topic, the Funko Pop going out of business. I think that's a good opener.
And that's something crazy. That we can definitely bring up to Jeremy if he's into the collectible space.
I mean, I know they've had them.
We can definitely ask him what his thoughts of all that is.
Pop announced. I pulled up an article about it. This came out yesterday, was my understanding.
Correct. So they just had a quarterly earnings report, and I quote, they said that there is a substantial doubt about the company's ability to continue as a going concern for the next 12 months.
Okay.
They told the shareholders.
So essentially we are at the point where Funko Pop has maybe reached the end of its life.
They are currently $241 million in debt.
See, here's the thing. Like, when I don't know if that is bad. It sounds bad, right? It sounds bad.
Well,
but at the same time, like, companies go, like, they use debt for different reasons and things like that. But my understanding after reading some articles is like they're needing more investment and more investments to keep them going.
Correct.
And it's like, oh, well, you want to take on even more debt to keep you going. It doesn't sound like that's necessarily a viable option.
Yeah. And I don't know if they'll completely go under or they'll just get acquired by, Hasbro or Mattel or some other overseas company.
Do you want them to stay? Like, do you want them to stay like going, like in business, continue in perpetuity?
I think things need to change. I mean, Funko, because Funko doesn't only produce Funko Pops.
Okay.
They produce other vinyl figurines and other vinyl collectibles.
Okay. And Funko Pops are probably the most popular, I would assume.
Well, yes, and I think they kind of like, in 2017, Funko was like booming, right? They couldn't keep Funko on the shelves. Everything was selling out. Scalpers are buying it. I think that kind of had like a fake supply and demand kind of thing. And I wanted to bring this up because of what we're seeing with Pokemon and other trading cards.
Mm-hmm.
That is this like a real, like, is this real? Like, are the people buying these products because they like them, or are the scalpers and other people buying them to make money?
Being artificially inflated or
correct
afloat, basically. Correct. Yeah. I mean, here's my thinking is Funko Pop is a toy company that is possibly reached the end of its life. It's done well over that time, but a collectible becomes more collectible in many cases when maybe that company's no longer in business or they're no longer making that item.
That's very true.
It's like, I think like there's a lot of people that would be very sad to hear Funko Pop goes out of business, but I think there's probably a larger amount that'd be like, oh, wow, well, maybe my collectibles go up in value now that there's some kind of rarity, or there could be a rarity, because I know they're not going to reprint it. They're not going to make another variation of this, because I read a few comments. People were like, oh, what do you expect when you make 400 variations of Deadpool?
Exactly. Or like the D-list character in Star Wars Acolyte or whatever,
exactly.
Yeah,
when I go to, like, when I pop into a GameStop and I see the $5 figures up there, and I'm like, I don't even know half the characters, let alone like why I would necessarily want to buy this.
Exactly.
And so I
think
they
shot themselves in the foot.
I do think like, hey, if there's a viable option to keep going because you have something that the market wants, then more power to you, right? Like I don't have any problem with anybody staying afloat because there's genuine demand, but the scalpers aren't there anymore. You don't have people doing that at this point. I don't think there is a way for them to stay in business if it's not for genuine demand, honestly. Because I was going to say, well, you could, to your point, scalpers in many different collectibles right now could honestly be keeping things afloat and not actually have customer demand. Correct. I don't think that's the case here. I don't think that's the case with Funko at this point.
It's like people just don't want them.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, well, scalpers are there because people want it, right? And they can be a middleman that creates some kind of value or gets some kind of value on someone buying it higher than what they got it for. But at this point, that's not really the case. So yeah,
what do you think will happen?
I mean, if
you think there will be an acquisition,
has their IP is what a vinyl figure that has a bobble. It's like a bobblehead figure, but it's a bigger head. But bobbleheads have always been around. They've been around.
Existed, yeah.
This. So I don't even know if they have like. Do they own? I'm sure they own some kind of patents of some kind, but most of the value comes from the IP that they're licensing. So I don't really know if you need like someone to buy it out or someone to continue it or anything like that. I think it's just like, let it fade off into the sun, let it go bankrupt or whatever it needs to do. And then we'll still have millions of Funko Pops still out there. And maybe some of them will go up in value over the next decade or two. That's my thinking is it's okay for some businesses to go out. And not every collectible needs to continue to make more of that thing because inevitably it becomes less collectible. So I am at the point of it's sad to hear because it is fun and it is cool, but it's not like a love loss at this point, I think, for many. And that's why they're going out. So Funko Pop going out of business. There is, well, let me see. What do we want to hit next? Let me do this real quick. So we did get some news about Galaxy, Star Wars Galaxy.
Oh, yes.
I'm excited. Came out, or the actual pre-buy or the EQL, or no, it was a pre-buy. It wasn't an EQL. You could actually go, if you got there early enough, you could buy boxes and cases from Topps website. The pricing was, I think it was around $220, $240, maybe something like that for a box. Not crazy, not completely out of this world. It's still, I would like to have seen it like at $199. That'd be amazing. But that being said, Galaxy is one of my favorite products, and
because of the original artwork.
Because of the original artwork. Ray knows about this now. He's very familiar with this. don't foresee there to be many other non-sport releases coming from Topps, at least for the rest of this year. Like I haven't seen much. Like this comes out December 10th. The checklist, the checklist doesn't really tell you a whole lot because you don't know what the cards look like. Like because it's not like a person or anything like that. It's as a scene. Like you've got cards named. Let's see, like
I saw like a lot of movie poster like cards.
Yeah, it's like there's a card called Gimme, which actually I have seen a rendition of that one, and it's Grogu like reaching out for like the little metal ball in Mandalorian ship, which is actually it's cute and it's fun and it's cool. That will be cool. There's other ones like It's Not a Matter of Luck. I don't know what that card's going to be. So it's kind of hard to say exactly. Now, what you could do if someone was so inclined and they're wanting to know what do some of these look like, a lot of these pieces come from pre-existing pieces of art by that artist. So that artist will have done like a 24 by 16, blown up poster of this piece, and now they're putting it onto a card. So if you Googled the name, and fortunately, I do appreciate that Galaxy and Topps is doing this. They're putting the artist names next to the name of the card. So you could Google it and see, cool. Here's an idea of what that card actually looks like. But
would it be cool? Do you know, sorry to interrupt you, Jesse. Do you know if these artists, when they make these cards, especially for Star Wars Galaxy, I'm sure they're working on a larger scale, like you said, a poster, but I'm sure it's like a physical fine arts piece, maybe like a painting on a canvas. Do we know if like some of these pieces are for sale? Because
they are.
How cool would it be to pull that card and it's like, I want this painting.
Is 100%. You can in a lot of those cases, because last year I don't know what happened. I had several of these in a cart. I was going to buy them, and I think it was just like a matter of like I was going to use them as decoration in my office, and it ended up being where I was like, I don't know where I'm going to put these yet, and I don't know which ones I actually want because I had like probably 10 of them. They are all like I think $100 to $200 in some cases. So I was like, I'm going to hold off.
Prints or like
some were prints, some of them were framed prints. It kind of depended. But if you like, I just copied and pasted one of the card names into Google, and I found
that's
one of
amazing.
the artists, and you see a lot of the examples of either some of their art or that maybe even that specific card, which you could expect to see there. So I think it's very cool how they do this. And I think it's cool that you could go out and buy a painting or a piece that is that card. So if you're a big fan of it, like there was one last year called Stormtrooper, which was my favorite card in that set. It's basically a bunch of stormtroopers, but then intermixed in there. Like it's a profile of multiple stormtroopers. And it's almost like a white background because there's so many helmets of these
that's cool.
stormtroopers. But then intermixed in there, you've got like Luke and Han and Chewie and stuff like that mixed between them. And it's just a really cool looking card. But I found you could do a poster of that as well. So that's another one of those reasons why Galaxy kind of transcends a lot of other card products, because you're definitely leaning more heavily on the artist interpretation of some of these scenes and just original ideas altogether. The part of this that is also really cool, that you don't buy Galaxy typically for autographs. It does have autos in it though. And it does have a checklist of who's signing in here. But my understanding is it's typically maybe like one autograph a case. So you're not getting many.
Wow. So what would be some of the chases out of Star Wars? So for someone that's listening right now and they're like, okay, I want to buy into a Sports Boy Star Wars Galaxy break. What are the chases? Are we looking for sketches? Are we looking for autographs? Are we looking for
and I don't have
relic cards? What are we looking for?
So no relic cards. You're looking for the original art. That's what you're looking for overall. People are going to want the other pieces like those sketches, and they're going to want the autographs, and I'm sure some of the inserts as well. I don't have a sales sheet on this yet. I'm kind of surprised they didn't, but again, since it doesn't come out till December 10th, we're a month out from there. So it could just be, it'll be coming shortly. But if you look at the autos, there's not, and someone said this, and I don't want to be like a jerk, but I was just like, I don't believe them. They said, there's not a bad autograph in that list.
Ooh.
And I was like, no, I don't believe it. Like there's got to be like a Bibble or a Queen Opulana or
shout out to Queen Opulana.
Yeah, it's just like all of these ones that we are inundated with that are in other products like Star Wars Topps Chrome, and it's like, oh, you're hoping for a good auto, and then inevitably it's another
Queen Opulana,
just
or Bibble,
one of these like non-main characters that no one really wants, and they've signed about 1 billion cards, and those are the ones that are in most cases. So
no pun intended.
That is not the case here, though. That's another pun that's not intended. That is not the case. You've got, I mean, honestly, if you can think of a name that, if they're still alive, mind you, they probably signed in this to at least on some cards. So you've got Adam Driver, Billy D. Williams, Anthony Daniels, who is C-3PO, Carrie-Ann Moss, Diego Luna. You've got Elijah Wood, who I didn't know voiced a character from one of the animated Star Wars series.
Okay.
Jace Rucklin, I believe is the name. Ewan McGregor's back. Felicity Jones, Forrest Whitaker. Honestly, like, it's hard for me to name names that are going to be anything but some of the biggest names. Like, they just don't really have any
like
non-big
A-list,
names.
B-list actors.
Exactly. So that's really exciting. Zach Braff is in here because he played a character once. He's signed at some point, but
who's Zach Braff?
Zach Braff is the guy from Scrubs.
I've never watched Scrubs.
You never watched Scrubs? Well, I liked it. It was a funny show.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I did. They're bringing it back. In fact, it's about to have new episodes. Which
Zach what?
Zach Braff. He was also in Garden State, which is like as a kid that soundtracked in that movie.
Oh, okay. I know this guy.
It had a lot of feels in it. One really cool thing that I noticed, Ron Howard, the director of Solo, the movie Solo, he signed in this product. Ron Howard, that's huge to me. Yeah, I feel like that's really, really cool. So
you know his brother, right?
Ron Howard's brother?
No.
Oh, yeah. He's who's always that's me.
Or the
not
I may not be the most handsome man in the world.
The not standard attractive man, but yes. But anyway, so he's in Ron Howard signed in this, and if you get an auto, it sounds like you probably have a pretty decent chance of having somebody decent. So that's great.
Have you watched the show The Studio on Apple?
No, I have not.
There's a Ron Howard episode.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Is Ron Howard in it?
He's in it.
Okay. Well,
highly recommend it.
I'm trying to see if our guest is here yet. It's not showing him, but I know he was.
Did you send him the email?
Oh, he got that email, baby.
Oh, baby.
All right. I'm gonna message him. But anyway, so there you go. That's Star Wars Galaxy again. Comes out.
Is Star Wars Galaxy the top trading card IP or what product for Star Wars? Would you consider that the top flag?
It depends on who you ask, because like I'm
asking you.
So for me, it's my favorite.
Okay.
I love Masterwork as well.
What are the differences between the two? There's
a lot of different. That's a more like premium card. Those are not original. Yeah, those are not like original art scenes or anything like that. That's just characters. Like there's 4 mini boxes and a Masterwork box. Yeah, it's totally different.
Okay.
But it's got a lot of sketches, it's got a lot of autos. It's
Masterworks does.
Yeah, Masterwork does. So it's very chaseable, but I didn't realize that Galaxy actually top started making this in 1993. It's been out. It's been around I knew it had been around for a little while, but I didn't realize that nearly that long.
So you might think that there's like a lot of old collectors continuing to collect Star Wars Galaxy.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's not just for, I don't believe it's just for hardcore fans. I think that is a big part of it, but it's just like some of the art is just cool in general. The design styles and things like that are unique, especially just on the format of a card. So I think it's got a lot of appeal in multiple ways. My thinking too is if you're looking at this product as far as like one that you might possibly want to buy into, give it a shot, because you're not going to waste a ton of money. Like, this is not a super expensive product, and most of the time it tends to hold its value. So I'm a fan, and we will be breaking this. I know I'll have 5 cases on initial release day, and then hopefully they'll do like a second wave, kind of like how they do.
Nice.
So I believe our guest Jeremy Allen has joined us. We're going to bring him on.
The bear is here.
Different Jeremy. Jeremy Allen of Heritage Auction has joined. Jeremy, do I have the title correct? It's a assistant director of pop culture with Heritage. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, I checked your LinkedIn just to be sure. But Jeremy is in the process of driving his vehicle to pick up his son so that he's
driving across America.
A little latchkey kid who just gets left outside by himself. But he was kind enough to still make the time to record while he's driving, which I'm really hoping still comes through for the audience. Jeremy, do you have any police in view at this moment?
At this moment, I'm free and clear, and I'm good to go. I don't got anyone chasing me.
Okay. Well, here's the thing: we may not keep this very long. We'll keep it probably like 20 minutes, if that. So maybe less than that, knowing that you're currently in the car driving. So
if he gets pulled over, this will be great footage.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you definitely get pulled over, that might be even better.
Go viral.
It might be good content for you, but maybe not so much for me.
Sure. Well, we'll start a GoFundMe. We'll get it covered for you. No worries. Jeremy, I don't know if you've had a chance. This is Ray. I was gonna say Ray Solo. Ray Solorio is my
pleasure to meet you, Jeremy.
He's pleasure to meet you as well, Ray.
He's big into TCGs, mainly Pokemon, but he is coming into the world of non-sport cards and but he's also like a reseller of like other collectible items and things like that. So it's kind of perfect for what you're coming on here to talk about is as the director of pop culture at Heritage Auctions, I can only imagine you see more collectible non-sport items than any of us who are on this pod or listening.
Yes, I actually just got off the phone before I got on here with another PSA 10 Star Wars Luke Skywalker rookie that somebody wants to give me, and there's only 9 of them. We just sold one for $260, so they all come through here.
Dear Lord! So you've got that card that just sold. That set a record. Obviously, the Luke Skywalker. But I also just got to notice, even though it sold back in September, the Art de Bart card, like the Matt Groening sketch of Bart Simpson, that one just set another record at 24,375. What are you seeing in the market right now for non-sport cards?
Well, I've been collecting and doing stuff since 1988, and I've been in and out of the hobby and worked with a lot of different companies. And I got more interested in the pop culture non-sports stuff about 4 years ago, and I've been watching this stuff pretty heavily. And I think a lot of people are starting to see the opportunity there. The Art de Bart card itself has been selling for around $8,000 to $11,000 pretty consistently. And but I don't think I had a 1010 for sale until this time. So having a 1010, I knew it was going to do better, but it hit 25K basically. And it's kind of it's where sketch cards began. It's an important piece of non-sports history when you think about sketch cards.
Well, and I could be wrong, but I feel like that's got to be the highest sale of any sketch card, let alone, that specific one. Are you familiar with any that have done more?
But I would assume you're right, Jess.
Okay. So then you're seeing an increase in sales, not just like in sales prices, but are you seeing volume as well? Are there more people listing cards? And if so, does that feel like they're doing that because they're trying to dump their cards or just because the market's so hot right now?
I think there's a combination of factors. The market's hot. I feel like the sports card market's harder to get into now. Boxes are $1,000 a box retail. Cards are really expensive, and some people want to open up packs and have a good time. So they're looking at these non-sports cards. And when you start doing your research when you're looking at new Marvel stuff, then you start doing your research on when was Spider-Man's first appearance on a card, when was the Hulk, and you start digging into the vintage and the stuff from the 60s and the 70s and the 90s. And, we do a good job of presenting all those items. And for the longest time, most of the auction houses were only selling the tip of the spear. They weren't putting everything on display. And I've been doing dedicated non-sports auctions now with 300 lots not only showing Marvel, but Star Wars, Star Trek, Game of Thrones, TV shows, musicians, Beatles, the gamut of all the non-sport stuff, not just Marvel and Disney.
Well, and I'm looking too at the auction, your non-sport auction that ends this Thursday, and I'm looking at some of like the higher priced items right now are a Slim Shady from the 2024 gas release, a Slim Shady auto. You also have a Mummy Returns from 2001 Inkworks auto from The Rock in there as well. Like you got like so many mainstream non-sport cards right now. Like there's actually only one Topps Disney card in here, and I don't see another newer Topps non-sport card in the top maybe 20 items listed.
Well, and that shows you how really deep and wide the non-sports collectors are. I think a lot of people see some of the newer auction houses selling only the new stuff, and they don't have any vintage in depth. And when you really start to get into the hobby and to the collectors that collect this stuff, they collect it all.
Yeah.
Not just the new stuff.
Well, and we've talked about too, like it's higher grade too, right? Like you probably get to see more higher grade of some of these items than most of us do. And that's one of the things that people don't really appreciate until you get to know more about non-sport is like, yeah, they may have made a bunch of that card in some cases, but it's pretty hard in a lot of those cases to find something that's like a 10.
The Luke Skywalker has had over 4,500 cards graded, and there's only 9 10s in 50 years.
That's insane.
Wow.
That's so crazy.
So, and a lot of those too, they don't come available. There's only 9 of them, and they're locked up in people's set registries, or they're in their vault as a grail collectible. So when one comes available, there might not be another one for 5 years. So everyone goes crazy chasing them.
If you were back in the offices, you told me a number, like how much do you have in, say, the entertainment or pop culture side of collectibles do you have in the auction house or in the heritage warehouse? If you had to put a number on it,
like a value of the non-sports cards that I have currently, like in inventory before I sell it.
Yeah.
I'm probably sitting on about 2 to 3 million right now that are
2
not
to 3 million in
auction.
cards. Wow. That's crazy to me that they would just be sitting there but I mean, like, did you say too, that there's like in pop culture items that there's like billions of dollars in there, not just cards?
Oh yeah, no, that building's in billions. Well, so in the pop culture department, my baby is the non-sports trading cards. I also kind of baby the Type 1 entertainment stuff because I enjoy that stuff. But I also support and help the teams that deal with toys and action figures, TCG, movie props, music memorabilia, original artwork that has to do with any pop culture items, video games. So we have a lot of different departments underneath pop culture that I help support. So there's a lot of stuff going on there. And our department has grown somewhere in the last 5 years. I think we are probably, I don't know what the numbers are exactly, but let's just say it was 20 million 5 years ago. We're at like 150 million now in those departments.
Oh my, that's so crazy.
That's crazy.
That's exciting though.
Do you know what your most expensive item that you have right now at the warehouse is, Jeremy?
It's probably debatable between a couple of pieces. We got one of the Freshetta original art pieces. I think it will do 15 million. But we also have the original Star Wars artwork for the original poster that could do 10 million or so. The original artwork, whether it's a trading card or for a movie poster or for the cover of a video game, is some of the hottest collectible stuff right now.
What do you get into? Like if you're buying non-sport cards, what do you buy that is coming out today, or do you buy current cards?
You know what? I touched so much stuff lately. You see so much stuff, you start getting interested in your own personal nostalgia. So I bought an Eazy-E signed cassette that was authenticated by PSA for his autograph and then encapsulated by AMG. That's probably a $20,000 piece, but it just took me back to high school. So I chased that down.
Wow, that's so cool.
People are starting to collect
I like it all
again.
too, though. But I have video game stuff. I collect sports cards. I collect non-sports cards. I collect it all. The problem is when you're like me, you like it all. It's hard. It's hard to buy anything because you just can't make your mind up.
Well, the one of the things I was going to ask you about is Batman, because you had mentioned to me when we talked that you've got some Batman lots coming up. There's a Upper Deck Batman product that comes out this Wednesday. It's the first time I guess they're doing Batman in the metal universe, which I'm actually pretty excited about. I know a lot of guys have been pumped about. But going back, to the vintage side, I think most of us probably appreciate the 1966 Batman series is kind of where Batman got his start with cards, or at least that's where most of us know his start from. What are you putting out here coming up soon?
So I told you earlier, we have one auction ending this Thursday, and that's kind of a general auction. The next day, Friday, 3 non-sports auctions launch at the same time, and they all end on December 11th. One is a Star Wars auction, one is a Marvel auction, and then there's a Batman auction only. And that is a Batman, the #1 set in the PSA registry. So it's all the highest grades of every card in the original series. It's called the Black Bat set. There's 55 cards, and it's all the highest grades in there. And they're all going to be sold separately as individual lots. And there's a Batman in there that's a PSA 9. There are no 10s. I think there's 12 or 13 PSA 9s. The last one sold for like 45,000. I'm expecting this one to do over 100.
Do you foresee this? Yeah. So over 100 would be a record, right?
Yes.
Okay. Because I got to think that we're looking at some future in the near future records, because that 45,000 was June 17th, 2024 for a PSA 9 Batman. I would be shocked if that doesn't get close to 6 figures.
Yeah. I mean, if anyone's got one for sale right now, I'll give you $50,000 for it right now. I wouldn't be surprised if this thing didn't do 150 to 200. Seriously.
All right. So Batman, Star Wars, and Marvel are the ones that start this Friday. I'm starting to go through and I'm looking through auctions and I'm noticing cards that I want. Here's my only question for you, Jeremy. And this is the Heritage Auction is not a sponsor as of yet. Maybe that changes. But I did notice, is it always a buyer's premium of like $50? Is that a thing that's on most auctions?
Well, there's a minimum, when an item is under, like, I forgot what the number is where it gets washed and it's based on a percentage after that.
Okay.
So that's on lots that sell for like under, $200 or $300 or so.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I was like,
so some of them, basically the $49 buyer's premium is the minimum fee. Like once you're buying a $10,000 card, that doesn't matter anymore.
Of course. My thinking when I initially started going through there, I was like, oh, maybe I'll see some cards that I can get a really good deal on. And granted, if I got a card that's worth $300 and I paid $50, that's a very good deal. But I wanted to kind of set people's expectations, because as we talk about this, I encourage anybody listening to check out some of these auctions, because I think whether you are into newer non-sport cards, if you're into more vintage stuff, if you're into not even cards, but posters, games, collectibles, coins, all that kind of stuff. Honestly, these are the things that I've been wanting to talk more about on here. And I didn't realize just how, wide and deep the auctions that you put together go. And I really appreciate them. I think others will too.
Yeah. And I'll send you some more stuff to look at, but remember, and I always tell everybody, when you're bidding, it shows you what you're bidding and it shows the fees. Just know what you're willing to pay for the card. Don't get locked up in the fees, because you're going to pay whatever the market is. Just know what the market on the card is and what you're willing to pay yourself. And the fees are just a part of it. Buy based with those fees in mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you foreseeing 2026 to kind of continue this trend of just non-sport cards being hot, or do you think we level off a little bit?
We're just getting started. We haven't even got off the runway yet.
Really?
That's interesting.
That's exciting.
Why do you think that, Jeremy?
I have visibility to a lot of data, and I see what's coming in. I see what's being made. I've talked to the grading guys. I talked to the manufacturers. you're talking to distributors. They're talking about, you have, Dick's Sporting Goods getting in. You have GameStop getting in that wants to sell cards. Now you have a lot of places that need inventory and they want more diversity in their inventory. And you have a younger audience that's less engaged in sports and more interested in anime and different properties that are more willing to look for stuff, around video games and anime. So you're going to see a lot more diversity in these launches.
That's exciting for many reasons, but especially for this podcast. So we've got a lot of job security, it sounds like. Do you see like Legos and coins and what is the other thing? Games, like video games, like vintage games, things like that. Like, do you see a lot of that coming through on your auctions as well?
Well, I can tell you this. So at Heritage, we're not just a sports auction house or a pop culture auction house. We have 60 categories. So we sell dinosaurs and Birkins and watches, but we have a coin division and a currency division that does over $1 billion a year just in coins and currencies.
Jeez.
So yeah, that's the Heritage Auction House started in 1976 around coins and currency. That was the base of the company.
So that after this, either later today or during this week, I'm going to be hitting you up for names of people to bring onto the show to talk more about these things, right?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah. And we have some people on that work with us that, consignment directors, experts that could come on. And we also know a lot of high-end collectors that might be interested in talking and sharing their collections and talking about how they hunt and what they're looking for and what nostalgia driven them to chase this stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of great people that can sit your way.
All right. Well, then I may leave it at that. Actually, I do have one other question. Other than cards in the pop culture or non-sport category, however you want to like classify that general non-sporting good auction item, what would you say other than non-sport cards are the most popular in pop culture? Like the kinds of items that are the most popular?
We're seeing a lot of movement in graded action figures right now.
Oh, really? Okay. Who's grading action figures these days?
A lot of people.
There's two companies.
Yeah, Masters of the Universe, Ninja Turtles.
No. I mean, like
they're grading He-Man, they're grading Star Wars, they're grading G.I. Joe, and now they're starting to grade some newer things. And that stuff has got it's truly rare because no one collected them. So they're all opened out of their boxes. So find a lot of this stuff mint in boxes it's impossible. So Transformers Generation 1. Transformers sealed in boxes are going for $10,000 or more a piece.
Jeez, I just got a Jack Porkins from Tori over at DC Sports the other day. It was signed by the actor before he passed, and I'm not going to sell it because it was a gift. But now I'm very curious as to know what these kinds of action figures may do.
That's awesome.
Maybe for something even a little bit more current. But that's good to know. That's another avenue of action figures. That's someone else who we need to have on the pod to talk more knowledgeably about that. Okay, this has been this has been great because it's kind of opened my eyes to a lot of the areas that I've wanted to. Like Ray and I are all about cards and Pokemon. But it's also like, well, let's talk about other hobbies that a lot of us nerds that love Pokemon and non-sport cards also dabble in, or we may be very in-depth in. So
you're a Pokemon nerd, right?
I try, but that's Ray.
Correct.
There people collect the Pokemon video games. They collect anything from the Pokemon's tournaments, their jackets, all the apparel, all the special release stuff. When you look at the pop culture items, it's not just the cards, because these properties extend beyond trading cards and the collectors. And there's a line where the fans are becoming collectors. So all the nostalgia those things bring to them, they don't want just the cards.
Well, I think that's evident with the amount of auctions and the numbers that you guys are seeing.
Yeah, we're at 2,200 auctions a year right now.
Jeez,
that's crazy. Jeremy, before we get out of here, I wanted to ask you, is there anything that you collect personally besides non-sports trading cards? Maybe sneakers, coins, action figures?
I have a little bit of everything. So I have stuff that's not worth anything. I got stuff of value. There's football cards, there's basketball cards, there's video games, there's I even have some modern art type stuff like Banksy's and Cause.
Oh wow!
I enjoy the tennis shoes. I never collected because I like Jordans and stuff, but I actually wear them all. For some reason, I can't collect them. I just want to wear them. I kind of like it all. It's kind of a disease, It's hard to narrow it down. But if you were in my office, at my home office, on the shelves, you would see vinyl toys. You would see old school video games next to a personal picture of me with Mike Madonna, because I worked on his website. And you would just see these, all kinds of stuff from the 70s, stuff from the 90s, new stuff. The stuff that I enjoy the most, and you always hear this, and it's not, cliche, but the stuff that I get from people personally, or people from the hobby that I collect, that usually takes up most of my space, because buying and selling for value is not really where I'm at. I'm more about how does it mean something to me?
Yeah, for
what,
sure.
If your house were to catch on fire, Jeremy, what's the one thing that you're grabbing?
Not your kids.
No.
Well,
your items, your collection.
They probably already made it out fine. Don't worry about them.
It's all replaceable. What would I take? I used to say my Emmitt Smith rookie card, because it was the one I got myself when I was a kid. There were the ones that I get when I'm younger mean the most to me, because the other stuff's insured, right?
Sure.
You know what? So I have a game-worn Emmitt Smith jersey and a game-worn Troy Aikman and a game-worn Michael Irvin that are together. I'd probably take those, because you can't replace those, because when they're gone, they're gone.
Yeah, that's cool.
So you were born and raised, you don't not only live and work in Dallas now, you were born and raised in Dallas? Is this the kind of guess? I'm guessing based on this collection. Okay. Hey, my mom's from Texas. I watched Cowboys. I have a lot of Cowboy stuff from when I was a kid, so.
Yeah, my dad is a huge Dallas Cowboy collector. I got the collecting bug for my dad and my mom. They were both collectors. And my dad, I think some has 500 player issued Dallas Cowboy jerseys, and maybe 50 of them are game worn or something like that.
Wow, so, that's quite so the collection.
Cool. Yeah, we have a really crazy collection on the Dallas Cowboy stuff.
Maybe we should have your parents on sometime. When you're not in a car.
No, my dad and mom wouldn't do the interview. They're not ready. They didn't get the energy that I got naturally.
What does your dad collect? Does he collect cars? I bet he collects cars.
No, he actually. I actually started collecting trading cards because my dad gave them to me because he didn't want them.
Huh. Not a card guy after all.
He had 1985 football cards, and he basically handed them over to me, so I took them.
Okay, other than jerseys, and obviously he doesn't collect cards. I'm going to take a guess. Does he have not micro machines? What's the other? Just Hot Wheels,
like Red Lines?
Is he a Hot Wheel guy?
No. He is strictly a Dallas Cowboy only collector.
Oh, well then never mind.
And I actually have a huge micro machine collection.
Do you really? Oh yes, man, I love that. Okay, well. Ooh, you know what? Our local Lego guy finally reached out to me while we're recording, but sounds like he's interested in coming on the pod.
Fantastic.
Okay, so if you guys have not ever been to a national or a big card show where Heritage Auction is set up, Jeremy's typically the one hovering around the amazing setup of if it's not Power Rangers or Star Trek or Wizard of Oz. I mean, they have some of the best shows, just like the lineup of items in glass cases for you to go and check out. It's very, very cool. I highly suggest anybody go to a show, if for nothing else, just to go and check out some of these collectible items. So, Jeremy, thank you for coming on and being available. Granted, you were multitasking, so we appreciate that.
Yes, thank you, Jeremy.
Yeah, no problem. I enjoy coming on anytime, and I'm always available for you, Jesse. Just let me know.
All right, buddy. Well, I will be hitting you up for some names of other guys for future shows, but make sure that son gets picked up. Tell him we said hi, and thank you again.
No problem, guys. Y'all have a good one.
See you, buddy.
Talk soon.
All right, so that was Jeremy Allen with Heritage Auctions. Obviously, we were in a bit of a bind because he was doing us a favor, being able to jump on so last minute and talk about a lot of non-sports stuff. But he was obviously in a car moving around, so I'm really, really hoping that audio comes out to be okay. I think
it'll be fine.
Yeah, it seemed to be in a good, well insulated.
There was a lot of really good information there.
Well, and I like the information without going deep into any of it, because we were talking after we got done recording, and it was true. Like, if we go deep into one area, we're not going to get out of it. Like, we're just going to continue to talk about.
I meant to ask him this, but you might know the answer to this question, Jesse. Where do they get the majority of their stuff? This is like consignment.
I think there's a lot of options as far as, like, some people might try and consign. I think it's just people doing high-end auctions. Obviously, like, with us being DC sport heavy and wanting to talk about like all the things going on with DC sports, we talk mainly about cards, but they have so much that they do in the non-card world that it's like, oh, well, I want to talk about all of that as well. And you know, their auction house being around for as long as it has been, it's not like the same kind of, I don't consider DC sports and heritage auctions in the same kind of categories. I think like they're that's different worlds in a lot of cases, especially
way different
with
worlds.
The items that they're listing.
They're selling dinosaurs.
I mean,
what?
Yeah, I don't really fully understand all the things that they have and where they get them, but I know that it is very interesting to see some of these items up for sale.
Can we buy a dinosaur and like write it off?
I had a toy when I was a kid. It was a dinosaur toy, and it came with a little piece
like
of
a dinosaur
fossil.
That's
like it had like a little rock in there. I mean, to be fair, you could have told me it was a dinosaur and it was actually a Cheeto, and I probably wouldn't have known any better. But
they scammed a bunch of little Jessies.
They scammed us. Yeah, they scammed us good. But anyway, so that was again Jeremy with Heritage. Speaking of DC sports cards, though,
the consignor to the stars, and to myself as well. They are essentially trying to promote their new app. I don't think we've hardly talked about it. Oh yeah, I didn't know they had an app.
Well, it recently came out. If you are using DC Sports at all, I don't believe it follows like the breaker side of things, but everything else, if you consign anything with them, it follows all of your data. It keeps track of it. It's super easy to use, I will say. I just wanted to make sure people are aware of this. So go out and check it out. We are continuing to use them with all of our breaks. Ray, actually, I don't know if we had you promote it much, but if you, on your next break, because you're breaking this week, right?
Wednesday.
So Wednesday, you're going to be doing Pokemon breaks. If anybody wants to consign anything they hit with Ray, we can send that over to DC as well.
As you can see what I'm holding, and for the people that are listening, I'm currently holding a booster box of the new Pokemon Mega Evolutions Phantasmal Flames.
That's pretty exciting.
This does not release until Friday.
How did you...
At the recording of this video, where it is Monday, and we will be breaking it on Wednesday.
So do they know you well enough to know, like, oh, it's cool, he can get a box early?
Well, we'll see what happens.
I don't want to name names of where you got it from. I don't want to get anybody
We'll see what happens. So, again, come over. We're going to be selling 2-pack spots.
2-pack spots on Fanatics Live.
On Fanatics Live this Wednesday, under $20 a spot.
The SCN name, it'll be listed as Hobby Nonsense. It's listed as Hobby Nonsense in the back end. Yeah. I think everybody just sees Sports Cards Nonsense out there, but check out the Sports Cards Nonsense Fanatics Live page. You'll see Ray Wednesday evening breaking packs early. Phantasmal Flame. And
we'll have some juicy singles, Jesse.
And any of the things you hit, we will be able to send off to DC Sports.
That's right. So if you pull that special illustration Charizard, that in my opinion is the best Charizard artwork to date.
That's the one that has like all 4 evolutions in there, including the Mega.
Yeah,
that is pretty cool. The one that I saw that you showed when we initially talked about it, I remember thinking that was probably one of my favorites.
The best one. So.
Speaking of Pokemon, you had on the list of things to talk about Pokemon leaks.
Pokemon leaks. So last week we didn't get to talk about it, but there's been some.
One of the Pokemon went to the bathroom.
Not leaked. Took a leak, but there has been some cards that have been leaked for the new set releasing in January, which is Mega Dreams.
Oh, okay. Yes.
All right. The Dragonite Special Illustration Rare and the Gengar, Mega Gengar Special Illustration Rare have been leaked.
already hype around these.
Already hype because it's weird because of this Phantasmal Flames. There is mega Gengar artwork on the packs and on everything else, and there is a EX, but there is no special illustration Mega Gengar.
Oh, weird.
In here.
So they just held it over maybe for this next release.
I guess so. Super excited for both of those cards because those look chef's kiss.
Are these leaks? I feel like everything is getting leaked now from Pokemon. It feels like it's intentional. I feel like the marketing team.
You got to continue to marketing.
I feel like they got maybe a new marketing team, or they're like, you know what, we need a new strategy. Let's start leaking.
Let's leak them.
Yeah, get the hype up. I find that I don't know. It's just show it. You don't have to leak it. Just show us.
This is super random, but we're talking about leaks. I took a deep dive on the movie Independence Day yesterday.
Oh, okay.
So
by that, do you mean you just watched the movie Independence Day?
No, like I looked up and watched a lot of
Independence Day footage.
Well, when they were filming the movie Independence Day, a lot of the actors and extras didn't know what they were filming.
Oh, really?
Because they wanted to keep everything like under low. They didn't know that the movie was about aliens. They didn't know any of the ships.
Did Will Smith know?
I'm sure he knew, but nobody knew what the aliens look like or what the spaceships look like until that like the toy manufacturers like leaked all the toy footage.
Wow.
And everyone's like, oh, these are what the aliens look like.
That still happens even today, though. I hear about that with like Marvel movies and stuff. Like, oh, we know now what the new like Spider-Man villain is going to look like, or whatever the case may be. Like
because of toys.
Yeah, because of the toy. I get like updates and news stories. My news feed is very nerdy. Like it's very.
Oh, dude, you should see my news feed. The new Mario movie got leaked because of Pillsbury.
Whoa. What do you mean? Like the name of it, or
like, Mario Galaxy?
Oh, okay.
Mario Galaxy.
Mario Galaxy.
Cool. And Yoshi's going to be in it because Pillsbury. They're making little cookies.
Wow. Okay, that's pretty funny. You know what? I'm glad Yoshi's getting back in there. Okay, so
who do you think is going to voice Yoshi?
What
do you think it was going to be a voice?
Have a voice,
you know? I mean, they could be. I mean, neither did what is it, Donkey Kong? But then you see Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong.
That's fair. Yeah, you know, you're raising some really solid points right now. I don't know who Yoshi would be, but I feel like it's going to be a British person. I'm going British.
An accent.
I'm just saying it, maybe a little accent. That's my theory.
All right.
Going through my newsfeed, I just want to clarify when I say nerdy, this is what comes up. First off, first radio signal from Comet 3i Atlas ends debate about its nature. All right. So
come again.
3i Atlas. Are you familiar with?
I don't even know what you said.
Space nerdery is what that is. That's NASA nerd. I've got SNL clips in here is the next one. I've got Audible.
You still watch SNL?
I watch clips occasionally.
Dude, SNL is
there's some clips,
a rough watch.
It's not like it used to be, but there are some clips where I'm like, oh yeah, that's pretty funny. I enjoy some of them. So I pick and choose for sure. The Odyssey by Christopher Nolan. I
can't wait for that movie to come out.
Some notes about that. A couple other movie trailers. Some vintage some steel ink vertical closed back book rack for your figurines.
Ooh.
So it's a shelving for figurines. And lastly, I've got something about a drone and something about the new Batman series on Prime. So when I say
what's the new Batman series,
I didn't even skip anything. That's literally just went down the list of all the things.
What is that on Insta?
So on Google, you swipe over to your Discover page and it gives you like
Google.
It's an Android phone. I don't have the time to get into this. I cannot.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Like if you got if I go to home, it's just like your homepage with your apps, but I swipe over to the left and you've got your news feed. It shows you just like everything you want to know about you.
Okay.
Curated news.
All right.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Google knows what they're doing. Okay?
I didn't say anything about your phone. Okay.
Well,
I can't even FaceTime you. You know how many times I've wanted to see your face and it's like
we could use WhatsApp or
it sends me to the WhatsApp. Is that a thing?
Yeah, we can do WhatsApp. Yeah, that's fine. If you don't FaceTime me.
I'll FaceTime you all the time.
Do you FaceTime a lot of people?
Yeah. That's how you that's how the kids communicate, man.
I do Polo. I'll do a Marco Polo.
You have Marco?
Yeah.
Dude, I love me some Marco.
Wait, you get on Marco, I get on Polo. I find it interesting.
Bro,
Marco,
look at this.
I feel like I'm just gonna get inundated with polo requests.
All my Marco polos.
I only polo like 3 people. So
hey, you found a 4th.
There we go. I'm pretty pumped. All right. So let's see. Is there anything else? I know we had other things.
I do want to talk about. I went to the Pokemon show this weekend.
You
at the
went?
Nashville
Yes,
Fairgrounds.
I did not because I was a lazy bum. You went.
It's all right. I went, and I do want to give a shout out to my boy Steve that was at the show. Got me an amazing deal on a binder of some singles that I will be selling on Fanatics Live. So it's Steve with Poke Beaches.
Oh,
so
yes.
Make sure to give Steve a follow there. He said he did really good at the show. And
did you see, as a nice guy, I reached out and I told him I was sorry I didn't get to see him because I knew you had said you wanted me there.
Huge fan.
Well,
Steve was a huge fan.
I just felt bad because you had kind of sold it as like I was going to go and then I didn't go. And so I just thought you would appreciate that.
Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. And I'm going to call Jesse out.
What?
He comes in here and he talks about all this non-sport stuff.
Yeah,
but he doesn't have boots on the ground.
I do too. Monday through Friday, 100%
on the ground.
It's the weekends.
He's not in the weeds with the people. He doesn't know what's hot in the streets.
I know what's hot in the streets. You don't know the streets that are hot in my neck of the woods. Listen, I'm barely making it right now. Just don't attack me right now when I can't defend myself.
All right.
But I am sorry. It was a good show? Question mark?
I thought it was a good show. It was weird because the show is less than a month after the National, and on the same weekend as the National here in Nashville, there was the PokeCon down in Franklin. So it was like double.
When he's saying National, by the way, is not
National, one here in Nashville, the trading card show. And
do you think they should change the name? I'm starting to worry.
No, it's terrible. I don't even know why they even had that name. It's a terrible name.
Because the National is the biggest card show.
But why are you calling it the National? You sound like a moron when you say
That's why, and that's the problem, is like you have to like distinctly say it like with a lot of pausing and accent.
Hey, let's call it the Music City Card Show.
That's another idea. I like it.
Easy.
I'm in.
Right,
sorry, I didn't mean
call
to interrupt.
But it's just the shows are just so close together.
Yeah.
And I think there's fatigue setting in, and especially with the holidays and new releases and stuff, I think people were pretty much tapped out.
For people who don't know this is a thing in the sports card world. It's a thing I'm going to assume is in the non-sport card world, because I've noticed it. I assume others have as well. The hobby typically slows down towards the end of the
holidays.
Year.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the year when you're
Q4.
getting people spending money on things besides their cards for themselves. It's just an inevitable thing. And that's more than likely why we're seeing a slowdown in Topps releases right now. Cause like I said, we had the one Star Wars new release product and there's not much coming down the pipeline.
When is SpongeBob Sapphire coming?
SpongeBob, I actually did get 2 cases of it.
Is that in between before the Star Wars Galaxy or
yes,
after?
it'll be coming. It's this week, I believe.
Wow.
Honestly, I don't even know because people already had it. Like people had it last week.
Really?
I don't get how they're doing this.
I mean,
I'm not trying to throw shade here.
Phantasmal Flames on Monday when the release is Friday.
That is fair. Yeah, you don't really have a lot of room to talk on it. But that's the thing. Like there's people that they already had it the day it was listed on the EQL, which was last Friday.
Whoa.
So it's like, I know Topps is sending out product. I didn't even get allocated for it until today, Monday. So it's like, it's weird. I think for Sapphire, because I noticed this with the Disney Sapphire, and now we're doing, it seems the same with SpongeBob Sapphire. I'm wondering if it's just all Sapphire products. They may do some early releases with some breakers. I'm wondering.
You don't think they're like backdooring?
No, I don't. I definitely don't think that.
So the breakers that had them are pretty much
I think
big breakers.
Yes.
There's not like these little mom and pop breakers that randomly have the product.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Yeah, I think, well, and if it is a mom and pop, I think they probably have allocation of some kind. Like, I don't think there's people who are like getting allocation early and then selling it off to like some other smaller one, because I think Topps would come after them. But all that being said, there's not much products that are going to be coming out between now and the end of the year, more than likely, other than this Star Wars one, the Sapphire Spongebob that we just had,
Batman,
and then Batman, which is an Upper Deck product coming out now. But there's not really a whole lot of other stuff. So which is actually kind of good. It gives like people who have been sitting on some other products to maybe bring those back out, or just, hey, it's okay to have a little downtime too. We don't have to be into
save your money,
product all the
time.
Buy
the air fryer that you want from Kohl's.
Get that Kohl's. There's probably a coupon in the Sunday paper.
Yeah.
Get that coupon out.
Is that still a thing? Like the Black Friday, like Sunday paper?
Listen, I grew up not celebrating holidays, and
did you not go Black Friday shopping? You know, like get the DVDs for like $2.
We would do. Well, no, we really didn't. We never went out Black Friday. This isn't like it wasn't a thing. It was just like we didn't have a lot of money growing up, so we weren't going out and spending money. Period. Let alone like on Black Friday. And now that I'm an adult and I have a little disposable income,
he has a lot of disposable income.
No, he does not. No. Anyway, I don't like to go out and wait in lines. Like I'll do Cyber Monday. I'll do like some online shopping. So you just
completely like, again,
he doesn't want to. I'm not boots on the ground enough, and I'm not going out there buying all the items on Black Friday. So yeah.
Before we move off the subject for the show, I did make a pretty big trade when I was there.
Oh, did you really?
I did. I had a friend of mine. Shout out to Lucky. He did a trade. This is a weird deal. So he did a trade with the guy, Josh. He had a Poncho Magikarp and Poncho Gyarados.
Oh,
but they were sequential. Both in 10s.
Is that a big deal for you?
It is for me.
It's funny because on the sports card side of thing, there's a lot of people who appreciate that too. I don't necessarily get it.
It is to me because especially those came in the same box.
Sure.
And I have a Poncho Pikachu, Gyarados, and Magikarp.
Okay.
But they're not sequential. And so,
garbage.
Yeah. So I traded mine to him, and plus a card on top and some money on top. And I got the sequential set.
Whoa. So you had these cards already?
Yes.
Same grades?
Same grades. They were both 10s. All of them were 10s.
So you traded for these two because they were sequential.
Correct.
And what's the value of what you traded?
It was, mine were worth like 14.
Your cards should be worth the same. Are they not?
No, like as a pair. There was like the trade value of 14.
Your trade was $14,000, and those cards.
Mine were worth 14, and his sequentials were worth around 15.5.
Says who?
Says the market.
The market. No one's selling things as sequentials.
Yes.
No, they're not.
Yes.
Are they?
Yes. Yeah, that's the thing.
I don't see. You know what? I'm learning new.
Like
I'm learning
new things.
I'm accepting that I'm not always right here. I didn't realize that was
like I said.
I didn't realize that was a thing that people are like, I've got 2 cards for sale. You're going to want to have to buy both of them in order.
Some people aren't willing to break them up. Some are.
Obviously, like you wouldn't do that in that case, because if you can get $1,500 more by
just think about like the odds of you sending both of those cards in and both of them getting 10s sequentially is kind of high or kind of low.
I think that to me is like one of those things where people laugh about the facsimile autos, like with collecting, and obviously I have a problem with that, and people need to understand that they're wrong. But this is one of those things where it's like, oh, a sequential, we're collecting things because they're sequential now. That's where I would be one of those people.
Well, there's a value, there's a premium because of the value. Just imagine if you had.
Why is there a premium?
Because the cards that are getting graded, they both receive 10s, and they were sequential in the number of the pop report.
No, I understand the definition of what you're telling me.
Because the chances of both of the cards receiving a 10,
it's rare for that to have happened.
So think of like if you had the big 3, first edition Charizard, first edition Blastoise, first edition Venusaur.
Sure.
You send them in, and they all get 10s, and they're sequential.
And you
know
that
is crazy.
You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking, oh man, that's awesome. Well, I'm either going to keep the Charizard and sell the other 2, or maybe I'll just sell all 3.
You sell them together.
I never would have thought like, I need to sell them all together because that's going to net me more. Wow. Okay. I'm curious what other people think about sequential collecting.
But yes, let us know. I love it.
I wonder if that's more than just, I assume it's, well, I know it's in sports cards. I know it's in Pokemon, so it's got to be in the non-sport
How is it
world.
In sports cards? Like, what would you want to grade together that is sequential?
I don't know. I just know the fact that people look out for that, like that, or they appreciate that. Actually, I can't say I do know that they sell for a premium. I just know that is typically a thing that people want to have happen.
Gotcha.
Right? Or they want their cards to have sequential numbers, but I haven't heard what the actual premium is.
I guess for like, let's take Topps or Disney Chrome for an example. If you had maybe all the superfractors of all the, let's say, Incredibles, like the whole family, you had them, you sent them in and they were all sequential in 10s, that would be crazy.
It would be crazy. It would be crazy. It would be kind of cool. And that, I guess.
Or like Buzz and Woody together in a sequential, both in 10s.
I guess so. I mean, here's the
thing. It's a very nerdy thing. Like once you don't see anything that you really, this is going to sound super superficial or super like, oh man, I only collect like high grade stuff. Once you reach a certain level in like collecting,
I need something even rarer.
There's going to be things that are like, you know, like kind of get your juices flowing. A lot of things don't get your juices flowing like they used to.
Now no.
You got it. You got it. Come on. Lock in.
I want to say the consensual,
consensus?
No, I'm saying what's the word we've just been talking about? The consecutive.
Yes,
dear Lord.
Consecutive.
I know this, guys. This has been a real crapshoot of a pod. I apologize, everybody. The consecutive cards, I think, there's a more of an appeal when you paint it in the light of like having like 5 of them. Like when you said the Incredibles, I think of like the parents and the 3 kids, and you had all of them in 10s. That would be cool to see. Like, oh, there's 5 of them back to back to back to back. That would be kind of cool. Just thinking of like just 2 cards as like being sequential. I don't know. To me, in my brain, I'm like, okay.
Well, cool. It's because they came together in the same box. Now, granted, there is probably a collector right now that has the entire Poncho collection in a 10 in a sequential set.
Yeah.
Like that would be,
that's gotta be a big deal, right?
That's pretty much, that's a big deal.
But, all right. Well, we've beaten the consecutively.
Can we talk about PSA?
I'd love to talk about anything
PSA
else.
Buying back singles when you go and get them graded. Have you seen it? Have you seen this?
This is the thing you sent me. Yes. Yeah. I knew there was one other thing that I didn't write down. Yeah. Tell me. You sent over the link. It's basically a guy showing off that if your card did not get the grade that you predetermined, you said
the minimum grade.
I want the minimum grade. If it's not this, I want the card sent back. But you're saying now they're making offers for those cards
if they did not meet the minimum grade.
So
instead of sending them back to you, I know we all know that they've been sending offers on the cards that have been graded once you get them graded. But now they're sending offers for singles. Graded.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts? Because
I don't like it. I think it's weird.
I think it's weird as well. But I think it's more weird because I'm viewing it from the outsider's point of view. If I'm PSA or I'm just like a company that is trying to be like legit, I'm just doing my job as what I told the world I was going to do, then yeah, I could see them doing it because it's like, oh, well, we're not doing anything shady. We're offering to buy these cards because we want to put them into repacks or we want to sell them ourselves. But at the same time, viewing this from, the more skeptical side of things, I'm thinking, oh, well, if I'm PSA, I could just take those cards and then say, oh, well, it wasn't worth the 9. You said it had to be at least a 9. I'll tell you it was an 8. And then once I buy it from you for 8 prices, then I'll go and grade it as a 9. That I can see why that would be an issue.
Yeah.
I don't think that's happening. I want to be clear. I don't think that would happen.
It's just so weird. It's so weird. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like what are they doing?
Entering the space of being a marketplace and a grader, I think they started down a path that will forever cause there to be questioning of the dealings on the back end. Because it's a very you're mixing business with pleasure at this point. They kind of should have, in my opinion, probably should have either spun off a different business where they're doing this,
like a subsidiary.
Yeah, exactly. Or just stuck with one of these items, which specifically be a grader, not a marketplace.
So can I go on PSA's website and buy graded cards and singles right now? Like, what are they planning on doing it? Like you said, marketplace. Like, where can I purchase?
They have. I mean, you can buy them from repacks. You can buy them
repacks from where? And I wanted to get into this repack conversation also because of the GameStop Power Pack Beta came out, which is another like arena club and another courtyard and another, I think Boxster is another digital repack. So is PSA providing these cards to these big name repackers? Is that what we're doing?
I mean, they have their own because Jeff Wilson just had like put one out, and they've got an eBay store. You can buy them from eBay. So obviously they've
from
got
PSA.
Places. Yes, from PSA, the company.
Okay.
So I don't know if they actually have like a thing on their website as far as like a marketplace goes, but they have avenues where they're either going into repacks or you can go out and buy them on eBay.
But it's not like a digital repack. It's like literally you go and purchase it and you get it in the mail and hopefully you get the card that you want.
Yeah, I don't believe there's any digital component to it, at least not as of yet. Yeah, my understanding was people that maybe make a curated repack through PSA, they're then getting sent those cards physically, and then that person's breaking them or selling them in their shop or doing something where you're going to get that card physically.
Okay, so let's say that I want one of these PSA repacks. Do I get like a ceiling and a floor? Like, do they tell me how transparent are they?
I mean, that's
because with the card market, I mean, it jumps all the time.
I mean, that's what we've talked about a lot. Like, are the people that have been discussing this specific issue is like repacks need to be more transparent. There needs to be more detail and all that, and that's why. Some people have issues because they're not always like that. Others are like, oh, well, there's a lot of data. When I did a repack one time, granted, when I did it, the person, they didn't mean to do this, but they comped the cards incorrectly.
You purchased a repack?
I had someone, I said, I would like to do a non-sport repack. They said they have a bunch of cards. They sent them to me to do a repack with, and they comped the cards incorrectly because they didn't tell me exactly what the cards were, but they told me generals enough to where it's like, okay, I know we've got like a Star Wars card of Bix Clean or something like that, or there's an auto of this. And when I actually started ripping them, like it sold, and then I started ripping them, I realized, oh, these cards are not valued at what he was saying they were. Like, because I priced it at a certain level based on what I thought the cards were going to go for if they wanted to resell them. And that was not the case. So what I ended up doing was I refunded everybody and I told them, you're still going to get the card that you ripped.
Wow.
And I ate in fact, I told everybody I was going to eat it. But then afterward, I talked to him and he was a good guy about it. He was like, no, that's my fault. I will eat it. And so I didn't end up having to pay for the repack after all.
How many packs were you going to sell? Like, what was
I think it was only like 20, maybe
20.
I don't even remember.
How much were the packs?
I don't remember now.
You don't?
Yeah, it was like maybe $100.
Like, would you have made money off of it, or like, was it just for fun, or like, what were you? What were you trying to do?
The idea was I would sell the repack, and then I would allow, or I'd give the guy back his money plus a percentage of the profit. So okay. Yeah, so that was all based around the fact of like, oh well, I know there's going to be a card in here worth maybe $300 or something like that or more. I can't remember now. It's been over a year or so, but that was the general idea is like, oh, well, I know these people are going to get the value of this, or at least on average, they'll get the value, but that wasn't the case. So I'm not going to allow them to take the hit for my mistake and for someone else's mistake. So the customers all got not only made whole, but got a little extra on top of it. And that's how we fixed it. But that's why I've been skeptical to try and do. I would love to do another repack. I think there's ways to do repacks that are done that you can do it the right way. And some people do have repacks that are done the right way. I get what you're saying though, as far as like the fear of, I know you had mentioned like some gambling aspects involved in the hobby.
Yeah, especially with the digital ones, because it's like a slot machine.
It is. Yep.
You throw in your $50. It's like, you don't like the card, let's sell it. Let's go again. Let's go again. Let's go again.
Well,
and then all of a sudden you just dumped $5,000 into something you don't have and you don't physically have.
The gambling aspect that comes into cards is such there's a gray area that people who know how the hobby works, they understand the gray area. Some people would say like, oh, that's gambling. Like I'm putting money in to buy this card and I'm never actually getting that card. I'm just trying to get a one of higher value and higher value. But if I keep losing, or I just take the offer, the buyback offer, and it becomes lower and lower, eventually I'm going to run out of money and I'm going to walk away with nothing. I think that is the closest thing to actual gambling, which in my mind is you put up money and you're either going to walk away with, doubling it or whatever, or you're going to walk away with nothing. The risk of gambling to me is you walk away with nothing, not the risk that you walk away with something less valuable, but you at least are walking away with something. To me, that's like a lesser form of gambling and something that's more acceptable in my personal life. But yeah, in the case of these repacks or just these digital repacks where you're going in and using it like a slot machine, there are situations where you're going to go in and do it so many times you're going to walk away with. And
they make it so like the graphics and then the presentation and the sounds. It's like everything. It's like dopamine.
But, and I get they're trying to make it appealing, and I do understand it, and I do like when we were doing Courtyard as a sponsor. I did it. I bought the cards. Or I bought.
We want to be careful because we want to don't step on any of our
any
sponsors.
Exactly. And Arena Club is a sponsor of SCN, and I still use these, and I think that within reason, there's not an issue. Like I think you can go and have fun with it. You can hopefully get a big card, and if you don't, then that's okay. But to your point, there are people who have less ability to control themselves, and they are going
degenerates.
I wouldn't even say that. I mean, they just have more of an addictive personality, I guess, in some sense, and they are going to be caught up in the moment of the flashing lights and the sounds, and they're going to see, oh, I didn't hit the big one. I want to sell that card back. I spent $25 on that pack. I got an offer for $20 for the card. I need to put in $5 more, and then I can buy another pack, and then they'll do it again and again. That's where the issues come in, right? But the same thing happens with people who buy boxes of cards. I've seen it happen in card shops where they buy a box of cards, and there's like maybe it's like a smaller box, and there's like maybe 10 cards in there. They go through, didn't hit the big one. All right, I'll take another box.
Ooh.
And it's like, yes, they're walking away with something. They're walking away with some kind of value, probably not much, but they're walking away with something. But in my mind, it's still a very similar situation of you're spending more money than you probably wanted to or intended to, and you don't have enough self-control to stop yourself in some cases. And so that it's an issue. In fact, when we talked about it recently, I think when we talked about that case where there was somebody, a couple that was spending too much, or the husband got found out for spending too much of their monthly budget on Pokemon, or it was like maybe a few $100s or something.
I did a reaction to that video. I need to put it out.
Well, and I had made some comments about how it's inherently more funny that they, were losing money to this because it's a non-sport card versus a sport card. And someone reached out, and I do appreciate it. It's like, they appreciate the show and the content, and I've worked with them, but they were like, oh, I have that issue. Like I have had that issue. In fact, I'm not buying cards right now because I can't really control myself. And I'm like, well, first off, that's awesome that you're saying anything. And I also, after hearing it, I'm like, second, I kind of feel like a jerk now. And I've been wanting to bring more attention to.
If you guys have issues buying sports cards, please reach out. 1-800-GAMBLER.
You're making a joke right now. Now he's the bad guy. Now Ray's the bad guy. He's the one with no boots on the ground. But no, it's a real thing. And I think everybody this time of year where products are starting to slow down, I say, hey, take this time to evaluate, are you in a good space? Because there's not as much for you to buy anyway. Maybe that's a good thing. Take a break for a minute. I'm saying this as someone who makes their living off of not only talking about cards, but also selling them as I break. So I mean it when I say, like, I want it to be fun for everybody. I don't want it to be a thing where people are stressed out, or like if they don't hit a big card, I just ruin their night or day or week or whatever the case may be. So.
Yeah, don't bet your mortgage or your rent or car note on some cardboard, guys. It's not worth it.
Now, you want to talk about some gambling things. Here's the thing.
Are you do you gamble? Are you like a casino guy?
No. I mean, it's not to say that I don't like enjoy taking risk on things, but are
you a big risk take?
Yeah, to some extent, I do like to take a risk on things, but I like there to be some kind of value in return. That's why I like doing card stuff. I'm a little more okay with, but like on when I was getting into some of these mint breaks and like some of these Disney breaks the last week, not last week, and the weekend before, I was on Whatnot buying, and some of these things are kind of crazy. It was you bought a card like they were auctioning spots, and there were random spots. So, and I think there was like 200 characters.
Is that legal?
So,
because I know they took away like wheels and
you can auction spots. Yeah, there's no problem with that. A random spot. So there could be a chance where you paid like $20-$30 and you got Mickey Mouse. Fantastic. Wow. There could be a chance where you paid $30 and you got, a minor character.
What's
There's like one card.
Red Lee,
or what's that?
Oh, Mei Lee. You got like Mei Lee. Yeah. I mean, it's typically a cheaper spot because there's not as much fandom for that. But this being that, all that being said, they were doing this where it's like, okay, well, you win a spot. On your next spot, if you bid again, you win another spot.
Pass?
Well, you can take those two and trade them in for another spot. So it's essentially
you got to win 2 spots to trade it in for another spot.
Exactly. So I did. I was like,
but is the third spot randomized as well?
The third spot's randomized as well. So what happened was I got like, I don't know, maybe like Tweedledum, Tweedledee.
Okay.
And I got maybe, I don't know, it was some tiny, I think they had like maybe 1 or 2 cards in one of the products, but I can't remember the character, but let's just call it like a Bugs Life character. So 2 small characters. And I'm like, oh, well, yeah, I'll take a chance on pairing them up and getting something better. And I think I did that. And I think I got like Jasmine or Ariel or one of those 2. It was like a princess. And I was like, oh, well, dang. Okay.
And then those 2 characters go back on the board.
So those 2 characters go back on the board. So think about that. I bought those 2 characters. And now I have a different character. I've got a third character, but now those characters go back on the board. Now, after all of that, after buying, basically I bought 2 characters and I got this third one, but now those 2 spots are back up there. So someone else is going to pay for those spots again.
They pay for it twice.
People, I would love to know what money they made on that auction because multiple characters are getting paid for multiple times and they're just trading them back. And what you inevitably end up with is a point where, okay, we're not doing trades anymore because you get to where it's like there's
characters left.
Well, you get to a point where there's like 40 characters, but they're all the minor characters. All the really good ones have been taken, and no one wants to keep the minor ones. They keep wanting to try and trade them. So it's like, all right, well, at this point, we're no longer accepting them. You just have to keep them. But before that ever happened, you had many, many people trading in their cards. Those characters going back on the board
because you want to get the Mickey.
Exactly. Someone else getting the random one but they're taking that gamble of trading them in, trying to get the bigger spot. That's where I'm like, oh, you're really pushing that gambler side of things when we start dealing with things like that. Cause ultimately I could have gotten like, if I didn't get Ariel or Jasmine or whichever character it was, say I got like another minor character. Okay, well, I just traded 2 minor characters for 1 minor character. Now I got to go buy another spot because once I buy another spot, I have 2 characters again that I can trade in for another one. So, okay, so at that point, I would have bought 4 spots and say I got another bad character. I would have ended up, if I traded that second pairing off for another minor character, I could have ended up with 1 minor character but paid for 4 spots. And it just extrapolates from there.
Have you ever thought about doing that?
Doing that kind of break? I mean, when I was doing it, I was like, oh man, they're probably making a ton of money. But at the same time, I was like,
do the math.
I thought to myself, I'm never going to break in here again. So no, I'm not going to do it. And I would not encourage anybody else to do it because it's just such a dangerous way to either make someone really, really happy, but I think in a lot of cases make a lot more people upset with you or at least disappointed with the results. And I don't want people walking away.
You never got the character that you wanted in the first place. At least you know that if I pay $50 and get my character, I got my character.
Exactly. That's why I like the way I've been doing it is I list the characters for sale and you can buy it for the price. Or if you want to try and bundle something, I can sometimes get you a better discount, but there's not surprises. It's not like a shock to anybody. I sleep better. I feel better knowing like, oh, no one feels like they got taken advantage of in that situation. And so I prefer to continue to break the way I've been doing it. Maybe I can throw in some different styles here and there, But when you start getting random stuff involved, that's where you start getting closer to the gambler side of things, and then you end up with more people that may be disappointed.
That's why a lot of these, like Whatnot, they took away all the wheels, and like I had a friend on Whatnot that were doing like a white elephant on there.
Oh, yeah.
Like with lounge fly backpacks.
What's up?
So, you don't know what a lounge fly backpack is?
Is it a backpack?
It's a backpack purse. They make purses, they make wallets.
Oh, okay.
It's a big thing. It's a big collector thing. Don't get into it.
I'm not going to, but
there's no need for you to do it. But I don't know, maybe sports lady or sports child,
sports girl. Yes.
I like sports child.
But then it's more ambiguous.
Sports girl.
Yeah.
Okay. Girl. Gotcha. Yeah. But anyways, they were doing like that kind of stuff, and now they don't allow it.
Well, and that's when Fanatics Life started. They started from the get-go as, hey, we have rules here. We're going to enforce some rules. Like, one, we want to see your face. We want to know who's breaking, which I appreciate because Whatnot doesn't do that. But at the same time, they were like allowing wheels and stuff like that. So it's not only are they not allowing you to see the face on Whatnot, they were also allowing like all these randomizations that were essentially getting it to a point where people could take advantage of others. And that's why Whatnot had to stop it. But that's again why I trust the Fanatics Live platform, because they've kind of started it from the get-go,
from the ground up,
with like, hey, we want this to be not only a fun place, but a safe place for you to go. So anyway, this has gone.
That's our show,
much
baby.
longer than I was initially thinking.
How you feeling?
I thought it was going to be a short episode. I actually feel fine in this moment because I've done so little turning or moving. I've just sat and stared at you while we talked.
Do you want to do some calisthenics?
I don't want to do anything except go home and go to a safe bathroom. So I'm good. I'm good right now.
All right.
That being said, thank you guys so much. We all went off on like a long tangent there. Hopefully it was of some value.
People love it, man. They love these long discussions. I
will say the audience has is getting more passionate and more like, and I kid you not, I'm not just blowing smoke. Sometimes it's, maybe it's 5 new Spotify subscribers in a week. Sometimes it's like 50 new subscribers in a week. The numbers continue to go up on the show, and I love seeing it. Like for the first time since I first started the show, when you look at like the podcast listening charts, we're in hobby, and for the most part, every new episode comes out, we typically reach at least like the top 20 to 40 in that week's episode.
Casey Kasem's top 100.
So we're doing pretty good. Like we're reaching there, but there's another. So hobby is part of a larger category called leisure. So leisure is the main category.
What else is in leisure? Like gardening,
life, yoga, all kinds of like other categories. But
we're leisuring, baby.
So leisure is the one, like if you're doing really good in hobby, then you're gonna also place on the leisure list. In this last few weeks, we've started to place back in the leisure list.
Oh, baby!
So it's pretty cool to see all of you who are listening and or watching this. Thank you. Like we say this every single time, but your support really does mean everything for us.
It does.
And that's the subscriptions of, Spotify or Apple or YouTube, wherever you're listening, or if that's a like or a comment, all of those things go into the algorithms that apparently social media and things like that need to show off your content. So we appreciate it. Both Ray and
I what we need to do? We need to do like a live episode where people can comment live.
Oh yeah,
like on YouTube or something. So
I think Mike's doing that with his Cut the Nonsense show. They're going to do one of those this Wednesday. When he said it today on that podcast, I was like, oh, that'd be fun. We could
just to give back. Like people can come in there. They can say hi. They can bring up topics. We can discuss them.
Yeah,
I think it would be great. And then if you want to throw a couple shingles our way, shingles,
or shingles. You could do
a shekel.
Let's throw some shingles our way. I need to redo my roof anyway.
Come on,
architectural shingles only though. I'm not going for that old style. Okay.
I got shingles one time.
No, really?
Yeah,
man. I've heard that's painful.
Only the half of my body got it. It's just it's a common thing.
Half the body. Does it split right down the middle?
My face, really, the left side of my face. Stress.
Oh, boy. Oh, you can get it from stress?
Yep.
All right, people.
So
that's
be careful.
How we're getting older. Ugh.
Be careful.
That's your show, guys. Thank you again, and we will see you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.